Dan Larson here at the photo booth with the top 10 figures of 2024 so far, part 1. This is a quarterly segment we do at the end of March, June, and September, building up to the final top 10 of the year at the end of the year. Look for that sometime early January 2025. Quick refresher on the rules to make sure, quick refresher on the rules to make the top 10. I wrote this script and I'm having trouble reading it. Number 1, figure had to be released in 2024. However, there are almost always figures that come out so late in the previous year that they couldn't be considered for the best of that year, so they get rolled over into the next year. Power Woman here is an example of that. She was released in the same wave as Crystar last year in 2023. And I included Crystar in the top 10 of 2023, but didn't get Power Woman until early this year in 2024, so she's here now. Number 2, figure had to be purchased in 2024. That said, there are things that have been released that I have not purchased yet, but may purchase before the year is over. So they are technically still in the running for the final top 10 at the end of December. Number 3, if I didn't purchase it, if I haven't purchased it, then it's automatically disqualified for consideration. That said, I do occasionally get review samples sent to me. I only count the ones that I would have purchased or have already purchased. For example, Boss Fight Studios sent me review samples of the Saurozoic Warriors, but I did already have those pre-ordered, so that was a purchase I was going to make anyway, and so I have included them here. Last note, if a figure gets eliminated, it stays eliminated until the final top 10 of the year, at which time it re-enters eligibility to show that there are some long-term stakes. But there's also second chances. This is everything that meets the requirements I just went through. I'm going to start taking out figures until there are only 10 left, and then I'll put them in order from 10 to 1. Let's go. Vehicles are tough because, I have an actual rule that says no vehicles in my collection. I don't have the place for them. They're too big. They cost too much. I collect figures, not vehicles. That said, I love G.I. Joe so much, and I've had fun with the experience of being able to, form my own opinion on these things, have them in my display for a bit. Yes, I have the His Tank. Yes, I have the Vamp. I have the Ram. I have the Serpentor's Air Chariot. I have the Trouble Bubble. I expect the Ferret is on pre-order, and I expect to have a Dragonfly later this year. But I don't know that I'm going to keep them. Who knows? We'll see. But last year I had the same problem with the His Tank. It's like I don't know how to rank it. And Clutch is nice, but he's not one of my top 10 figures, and I'm not going to include a vehicle like this. So I wanted to put it here just to show that it was here. Hey, Duke, can you hold Scarlet up? She's having trouble balancing. So I'm just going to pull the Vamp wholesale here. Scarlet actually just barely made it in here. I actually received her yesterday. She was supposed to come today, but she showed up a day early, and that was awesome. All right, we are definitely not to 10 figures yet here, so let's keep pulling. I love this Duke and Scarlet. Scarlet, I haven't even had her for 24 hours yet. She's amazing. She's awesome. She's the best Scarlet in my collection, for sure, by far. But I don't think either of these two are really going to be able to compete with all these colorful, wacky weirdos that are in the background here. Even Mutton Junkyard. Love you guys. Tough to take an animal friend out, but it is what it is. So we got 3, 6, 9. Ooh, are we down to 10? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Nice. All right, well, all we got to do is put them in order now. All right, so I'm gonna leave both of these in. I've got 2 Mythic Legions. I've got 2 G.I. Joe, and then the rest are all sort of all over the place here. Normally, at the end of the year, I'll cheat a lot of times and just put one representative from each sort of brand in, because right now it's like I'm trying to go for what actually is the top 10. The final top 10 of the year is more like I like it to represent a sort of cross section of what I collect and a snapshot of that particular year, and I don't want that to just be all G.I. Joe at the end of the year. So I most likely, if the same thing happens this year as did in previous years, I'll pick one G.I. Joe figure, and that'll just be the sort of representative at the end of the year. But for now, I think we can fit more than one in here. War Duke is an interesting story because Last year, Warduke, that was the first time a figure went basically end to end, the whole entire year in the first place spot. Just a gorgeous action figure. Absolutely loved it. Still, a year later, can't even believe that, that NECA made it, that there was the demand and that they actually created the thing. This is the retro colors version, which I do like. The shininess of the shield is fantastic. The nostalgia factor of it existing at all is pretty darn cool. A little weird. The paint apps are real flat, kind of almost like chalky. Like I feel like I could draw with this figure. And I do prefer the more realistic colors of the previous version. So unfortunately, we'll see. We've got a lot of the year left, but I don't even think he's going to make the number one spot today. So tough call to say that he's going to make number one at the end of the year. What we're going to do here is Big Boa, I think, is in the 10 spot. I love the weirdos. Really excited that we're getting to the weirdos in G.I. Joe. Just the sort of wacky, colorful, outrageous kinds of character designs. And there's plenty of those on G.I. Joe too. I don't mind the regular Army guys. Airborne is just, I'm really loving this figure. And I have no nostalgic attachment to original Airborne. He wasn't a figure I had as a kid. This is just me loving this version. That little bit of color in there with the blue versus this blue of his Big Boa's workout pants. But I love the weirdos, and I can't wait for more weirdos like that. Non-traditional, really, sci-fi, fantasy influenced kinds of characters. Really excited for more of that to show up in the line. But I think Big Boa is my 10. I think Boss Fight, I just forgot his name, is at 9. The Ankylosaurus, the Ronin Samurai from Boss Fight Studios' Sorzoak Warriors. Big year. We're in a golden age of, and I know it's weird to say this, having lived through the 80s and 90s, but we're in a golden age of anthropomorphic characters right now. The Spiro Toys Animal Warriors of the Kingdom Kickstarter is about to wrap up here in a day or two as I'm shooting this. We've got this. Look at this. I've got 4 in the booth here. Elephant Man, Rabbit Man, Dinosaur Man, Dragon Man. It's crazy. What a time to be alive and collecting toys. 10, 9. I'm just stalling because I'm not sure what I want to do here. 10, 9. I think we're going to go... Airborne is... I mean, again, I pulled out... Duke and Scarlet because I didn't think they were going to measure up to all these crazy, colorful weirdos, and Airborne's right there too. So I think I got to put him at the 7 slot. I'm really blown away by Snout Spout here. If you'd asked me at any point ever, going back to, original Masters of the Universe, if I was ever going to buy a Snout Spout, the answer would have been no. Actually, I got to take that back. I have the 2000X, the NECA Staction figure of Snout Spout. So I guess this technically is my second Snout Spout. This thing's just ridiculous. Like, just from a toy engineering standpoint, articulated trunk, light piping in the eyes, the ears are articulated, the tusks are articulated, 2 different sets of hands. The belt, the dial on his belt is articulated. Just an incredible figure. He's big, he's beefy, he's an elephant man. It's insane. What an awesome figure. Next up, look, I think we're going Captain Carrot here. I did swap out his cape, and in previous years, that would be a disqualification if I had modified a figure. I'm not going to be that stringent with that kind of thing at this point. In fact, there's several figures over here that were in the booth here that I had already modified or swapped out accessories. In fact, Airborne, that's not even, he didn't even come with this gun. That gun is from a Crimson Guard. But this is more accurate to the vintage figure, so I swapped it in. All I did with Captain Carrot was give him a wired cloth goods cape that I had from a Superman figure that wasn't out on the shelf. So, and it's shape-wise, it's basically the same shape and color as the one that came with it. I just liked, it's just so much more dynamic. It makes him look so much more regal, You gotta give him the nice cloth goods cape. All right, and that puts us at 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going to go... Look, I think that, I think Warduke, I think is 5. He's really great. He had his time to shine last year. I love it. But most of what I love about it is what I loved about the figure from last year. And it would be weird for that to it wouldn't be weird. It would be it would be emblematic of who I am and what I like. But I think he's only going to make the 5 spot because these guys here are just incredible figures. In fact, I think we're going 5 here. Hazar. I can't remember. He's from Mythic Legions, Four Horsemen's Mythic Legions line. He's a combination of two demons. I believe they were in this form originally and then split into Hazar and Zazar. I don't remember Hazar. I don't remember what his name is. He's just incredible. He's big. He's got the cloven feet, this incredible belt, these twisty, turny horns, and the armor, the lightning bolt cracks in his flesh there. Just an incredible figure. And then right behind him, I think we're going to go with the Dragon Man, also from Mythic Legions. Just astounding design, sculpt, paint apps. He's shiny, he's huge, he's got a tail, fur loincloth there. Posability could be a little bit better, as with every figure. It could be a little bit better, but I love it. I find myself just sitting at my desk staring at that thing. Both versions, him and the Whiplash homage, the green version, which I think he technically made one of my top 10s, maybe even two of them last year, because I was able to pick up the green version at PowerCon as a PowerCon exclusive. But blue version is out this year. He's incredible. This Yellow Park Megatron. I didn't pre-order this. It wasn't even on my radar until I started to see other accounts that I follow. In fact, I think it was Unparalleled Universe that posted pictures and really made me see that figure for what it was, and I immediately ordered it. Fortunately, it was in stock at Yolo Park's website at the time, so I had it in like 3 or 4 days, maybe 10 days, whereas other people had to wait because their pre-orders didn't show up. All the articulation you could hope for. I don't care about Transformers not being able to transform. That's fine with me. I've got tons that already do. I don't mind having one that doesn't, especially when it gives you this much articulation. And this is what I was hoping for, and I've seen this comment a lot. I'm not the first person to say this. This is what I was hoping for from Hasbro's RED red line, posability, like some cool character, the metallic finishes, this chest plate can swap off for battle damage 1, the cannon lights up, the eyes light up, 2 heads, all articulated fingers. It's amazing. Surprise, surprise, at the number 1 spot here is going to be SG01. This is my action figure. This is the first time we've actually been able to produce something like this. And really what happened here was people have been asking me for years, Dan, are you ever going to get into making toys? Are you ever going to, what kind of action figures would you like to make? What would you do if you could do it? And I was like, I don't know that I'm really that interested in it. I don't know that that's something I want to do. But I was thinking about it last year and I was like, you know what? I've made these, connections. I've made friendships with people who are making toys and are making some really fantastic toys. And even since we started this channel, I always tried to, keep an eye out for and mention and help out the sort of independent, the smaller companies when I could. And the larger the channel got, the more I really wanted to be able to do that for companies like this. And so I reached out to Suman at Rocom Toys. This is from his Mighty Maniacs line of action figures. I supported the Kickstarter 3 years ago, whenever that happened. He sends me samples of figures all the time. I love this line. It's very Battle Beast-ish. It's built on the Glyos system with interchangeable parts and stuff. Long story short, I reached out to him and said, hey, can we do a collab? Is there something we can do here? He said, absolutely. And so I picked out the parts and designed it based on the laser tag helmet that is in the background of nearly every single one of our videos with the skull in it. It's got our logo there, tampoed on the shoulder armor, reminiscent of the Boba Fett. And then the rest of it just pulls from that laser tag helmet. And Suman was actually the one who picked out this helmet. I had picked a different head. He picked out this one and suggested that looked even more like the laser tag helmet than the one that I had picked out. So it just all worked out really, really nicely. I'm super, super happy with this. It's not currently for sale. It was a very low run. We sold out of them pretty much immediately. But there will be some more out later this summer. If you didn't get it the first time through, you can get it through the second time through. But that's not even why it's here. It's just here because I'm proud of it and I'm excited about it. And yeah, it's biased and I don't really care. It's my list. It's my number 1. Probably get like an honorary spot at the end of the top 10 for this year, and I'll pick an actual number 1. But I'm just very, very happy with that and proud of it. And glad to see that coming. And, if you want more information, obviously you got to follow me on social media, become a patron. Patreons had early access to this a week before anybody else did, and actually were able to buy it at a discount. Other than that, This is SG01, Secret Gear 01. Secret Gear 02 is due out soon. So the point is to create a line of figures here and have those come out every couple of months going forward, as long as people are interested in them. If not, it's fine. I'll just keep doing what I do and buy awesome stuff that other people make. That's the top 10 figures of 2024 so far. Part 1 is always the easiest, and it's the least amount of figures I have to consider throughout the year. There's still a lot of really great stuff left to hit this year, so we'll see who, if any, of these figures has what it takes to make it to the end. Thank you for watching this and all of our videos. Hit like, hit subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. Thank you very much to those who already are. Please make sure you head over to Secret Galaxy and subscribe there if you haven't already. Check out our Patreon at patreon.com/toygalaxy and let me know what your top 10 currently looks like down in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Later.